A Girl's Touch. On the edge of the small town of Willowbrook, there lived a girl named Lily, whose gentle spirit had the power to transform the world around her. Her touch, though simple, had a magic of its own. It wasn't the kind of magic that belonged to fairy tales, but something far more profound, rooted in kindness, love, and understanding. Lily had always known she was different. From a young age, she could make flowers bloom with the softest touch, calm the most restless animals with a mere glance, and heal wounds with a warmth that no doctor could explain. People often whispered about her gifts, but Lily never saw them as extraordinary. She saw them as part of who she was, something that was meant to be shared rather than hidden away. One sunny afternoon, as Lily walked through the village square, she noticed Mrs. Carter, the elderly widow who lived at the end of the street, sitting by her doorstep. Mrs. Carter's face was clouded with worry, and she stared at the ground, her hands trembling slightly as she held a small tattered envelope. Lily approached her, her footsteps light and quiet, as if she were trying not to disturb the peace. Mrs. Carter looked up, her eyes sad but filled with gratitude at the sight of Lily. "Good afternoon, Mrs. Carter," Lily greeted softly, her voice carrying a sense of calm that immediately put the older woman at ease. "Oh, Lily, dear," Mrs. Carter sighed. "I don't know what to do. My only son, George, has been gone for years, and I just received this letter. It's from the army, but I'm not sure what it says. I can't bring myself to open it." Lily knelt beside Mrs. Carter and gently took the letter from her hands. The fragile paper felt cold against her fingertips, and Lily knew this moment was more than just about reading the words on the page. It was about offering comfort to a heart burdened by years of longing. With a soft smile, Lily took the letter, her fingers brushing against the edges as she opened it carefully. She read aloud, her voice steady and kind. "Dear Mrs. Carter," she began, "we regret to inform you that your son, George, has been reported missing in action, and the circumstances of his disappearance remain unknown. However, please know that he is loved and remembered by all who served alongside him." Tears welled up in Mrs. Carter's eyes as the words sank in, but before they could fall, Lily reached out and took her hand. Her touch, gentle and warm, seemed to send a ripple of peace through the older woman's body. The ache in her chest eased, and though the pain remained, it no longer felt so heavy. "I'm so sorry, Mrs. Carter," Lily whispered, her voice soft. "But remember, George is not alone. He is with you in your heart, and he always will be." Mrs. Carter nodded, a tear escaping down her wrinkled cheek. She squeezed Lily's hand in return, comforted by the girl's presence. "Thank you, Lily. You always know just what to say. Your touch," Mrs. Carter's voice trembled. "It's like you carry hope with you." Lily smiled, standing up and looking at the horizon, where the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a golden glow over Willowbrook. Sometimes, she thought, a simple touch could mean more than words. It was the way she made people feel, like they weren't alone, even when the world seemed vast and uncertain. In that moment, she realized that her gift wasn't just in what she could do, but in the love she could give. As the sun set and the evening air grew cooler, Lily stayed by Mrs. Carter's side, offering her silent comfort and a girl's touch that was more powerful than any magic she could ever understand. I hope you enjoyed the story.